Welcome back to Look Who's Talking.
Welcome back. Look Who's Talking episode.
We're back. We're back.
Hey, we're here on a Monday, which is not usual for us. We're usually recording on a Tuesday, posting to you guys on a Wednesday. Was feeling the Monday blues. Saw ZB in his own house, set up the pods. I'm feeling better now.
I'm feeling pretty good. When we get the golden mics up, the attitude immediately changes, Zach.
Let me tell you a quick story for the listeners out there. Rolled into the office. Of course, it's Monday. You're losing a few things. You're feeling a little down. Your team got whipped over the weekend. I forgot the equipment to record this lovely podcast. I go, hey, ZB, you're going out on a meeting. Can you just take my key and grab the equipment? We'll meet you at the spot.
Yep.
This man, I see this man no less than 10 minutes later, and he's giving me this look, and I'm like, you lost the key? You lost the key? ZB, tell me where the key is. My goodness.
Not only that, I was searching for this key. It was not 10 minutes. It was probably about 35 minutes later, searching for it all over the place, retracing my steps. Pulled in a couple of my colleagues to try to find it. I mean, the whole office was trying to find Zach's key.
Bad. It was an office saga.
Let me tell you though what really happened was the freaking key just disappeared on me. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it. The most elusive key in the game. Some of these NFL teams has got to take a look at this key because it's talented. That's for sure.
Yikes. Well, needless to say, someone's maybe in my house will let me in tonight. I don't know. The guy owes me a key. ZV, tell me about the weekend. What'd you get into?
Zach, let me tell you. Your boy just purchased his first custom suit. Could not be more excited about it. The wife and I go to Men's Warehouse. We go to get some alterations done to the suit. I've grown. I've gained about a couple lbs.
Pause right there. He's been doing Orange Theory Fitness, people.
Big Orange Theory guy.
Okay,
Join. The Triangle in Austin. Feel free. I'll be there 4 nights a week. But anyways. So yeah, gain a couple weight. So the suits aren't fitting as well, right? So I go in there, I want to get some alterations done. Simple as that. Go in there and all of a sudden come back out with 2 suits, 1 custom, and 5 ties. I won't name how much we dropped because it was a really good deal. But anyways, let me tell you what the Men's Warehouse salesmen. I like to call them as juice givers because, dude, I will tell you what, they had me feeling the juice with how they were talking about suits on me.
Walked out feeling himself.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the wife was excited about the suits, and I was like, babe.
Image that comes to mind, maybe it's Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire. He's going to Dark Spider-Man, and he's walking out shoulder,
just
feeling himself.
I was thankful, truly. It's a Saturday, and I don't want to be at Men's Warehouse, but it's always nice to get a juice giver. Where you're just starting to feel the juice, you're drinking the juice, and then obviously that comes into a huge purchase. But that was my weekend. How was yours? Not the best. Give us a recap of the game.
You make the trip up to Dallas. You've got one thought in mind. It's a W. And let me tell you, I held my L all the way home. First time in the Tom Herman era, I really felt like we laid an egg. I don't know. Your O-line talks a little mess before the game, and I'm like, since when do O-linemen talk trash? Sure enough, our left tackle, they got nobody special, and as it goes, OU, bunch of sacks. They look great. We're kind of on our heels, and they're just dialing up the pressure. Lincoln Riley's a great coach, though.
Who's the defensive coordinator? Alex Grinch?
Where did
the man loved the O-line talking.
Where did he used to coach?
Ohio State.
Nailed it.
Boom.
Nailed it. No, Grinch is great. They played physical. They played a great game. Hopefully, 2-loss Texas team. We run the table. We see them in December. I don't know. But it just, offense never got going. Defense, a couple of missed tackles. ZB, let me hear about it. CeeDee Lamb.
Wait, CeeDee Lamb, first of all, top 10 talent in this upcoming draft, 2020 draft. No question about it. The kid is insane. I think what's impressive about him is the yards after catch. The moves he has, the ability to dodge and duck. I mean, you would have thought that he was taught this stuff on Dodgeball the movie. Dodge, what is it? Dodge,
Couple
duck,
of D's, I don't
dive,
know.
all of those. He knows. That's all I know.
He was avoiding defenders, and that's the perfect segue into our weekend recap.
Yeah.
We're gonna start with that Texas OU game. You go up, you go to Dallas. You know, as a Texas fan, you're hoping that, hey, this is it. We have an experienced quarterback. We've got an experienced O-line, a couple of playmakers on the outside, and it doesn't go necessarily how you foresaw things going. What did you see? Did anything surprise you, ZB, in that game?
Honestly, no. You want to know why? There's a certain clip last week. I hope the fans heard it. There's a prediction. I believe Zach predicted 48-43 UT. Take a look back at this clip of my score prediction for the game.
Let's take it back to last week's podcast. Zach, what about you?
Yeah, I think it'll be a little lower score. I think 34-27. I'm going to OU. And I just think Hurts, the storm continues. I think he has a good game. I think Ellinger plays great, but OU outlasts. That's right, folks. You heard it here first. The man can see into the future. Call him Zach Bogoshian. I don't know. But yeah, I predicted the score. Like I said, it would be a battle, but Hurts would come out on top. The offense would be a little bit too much, and just the athletes OU has on the offense, and the defense is much improved from last year. You saw it in real time. How much better is that defense, Zach?
Oh, the defense is much improved, and that's the thing. You go into that game, and from a Texas fan's perspective, you played against the likes of a Baker Mayfield, of a Kyler Murray. Those guys are playing on Sundays. Those guys are extremely, extremely talented quarterbacks. No matter if we run Baker's name through the mud or not, he can play the game of football. And so Jalen Hurts, I don't quite put him in that category. Don't forget, this guy was benched at Alabama for a reason. So. I thought he looked pedestrian. I thought we did a few things against him that looked fine. You laughed at the pedestrian look, but he looked a little better than pedestrian. I don't know, but the behind the back to avoid the sack,
risky move.
Yeah, but it paid off. So you keep him in check, and then the defense does that to you. Gets a career day in terms of sacks. They were living in the backfield. Sam basically on his heels the whole time. Couldn't get the receivers open. Established the run game a little bit with the bright spot in Roschon Johnson.
Yeah.
But other than that, no true bright spots to take away other than, hey, you got hit in the chops, take an L. Let's get ready for Kansas.
Here's another question. OU, you saw them firsthand, obviously. How do they stack up against the LSU, Alabama, Ohio States of the world?
They're right there. They have the athletes. You alluded to it a little bit in your analysis a second ago. They've got the athletes. They've got the speed. If you allow them to play defense with their ears pinned back, allow them to run and hit like Alex Grinch is doing right now, they're gonna be super successful. They're a really good team. I'd rather lose that one than lose the Big 12 championship. Hopefully we'll see them there. A lot of football to be played. Baylor's trending up.
Yeah.
You got they're 6-0 for the first time since that bad guy coached them. What's his name? Art Briles.
We won't name him.
We won't name it. But next game that we're gonna dive into, LSU, Florida. The game was played in one of the true stadiums. You're gonna go in there. You're gonna struggle. You're really gonna struggle.
Life is hard in the SEC, like my friend Zach Overby said yesterday, and that came to be true for the Florida Gators. You come off a big win at home in the Swamp against Auburn. Momentum is all in your favor, and then you got a week of practice to go to LSU, to Death Valley. I mean, Ed Orgeron said it right, Zach. Ed Orgeron pregame says to end the pregame speech, "This is Death Valley. This is where opponents' dreams come to die."
Literally an all-time quote. All-time quote. All-time quote. If you're in the bus, someone's playing the audio of Ed O freaking speaking truth. I mean, Death Valley, you're going to go in there, you're going to feel a little tingle in your stomach. Maybe, this is a really tough team to play, and now they're playing offense, ZB.
Oh.
They're playing offense. LSU has always had these athletes, and they've ran it between the tackles. What does this new look offense look like with Joe Burrow who's great, who is really playing great. Tell us about the new offense.
Burrow looks unreal. I got to apologize to the friends of the podcast, but Joe Burrow being ranked at 7 is absolutely outrageous. As Stephen A. Smith would say, just abominable. This guy Joe Burrow is not the 7th ranked. He's ahead of Fromm. He's ahead of the Herberts. He's ahead of Jalen Hurts. I think he's right up there with Lawrence and Tua, and I personally like Fields a lot too. This kid Burrow's insane. He makes every throw in the book. I love the confidence he plays with. Has a little cockiness to it, which I like a lot. And what's impressive about them was the run game and how the offensive line blocked all game. The offensive line looked great, protected him. The run game with over 150 yards on the ground, and the receivers just as advertised as always. But what's awesome about this team is the new passing game coordinator they got. He came in, he's made a difference. He's from the New Orleans Saints, and has came in, really made the spread offense a thing in Death Valley where offenses went to die, and that was their own offense. I mean, it's impressive to see the turnaround in 1 year.
Yeah, and I'll make a case. LSU, they go to Austin, Texas. They play a really good Texas team at home. They play a great Florida team, honestly a steel curtain defense.
Yeah.
Florida, and they made them look, elementary. So I could make a legitimate case for LSU at number 1. I'm not really sure. They've got a great resume at this point. Than the Clemsons of the world that are just trotting through lily pads and just kind of winning against unranked opponents and things of that nature. But I don't know. You can make a legitimate case, maybe something to think about.
They came in at 2 this week, so I
That's
think
fair.
I think they got to come up. They're definitely in conversation for 1. We haven't seen Bama play really anyone this year either. A&M was their first real test, and I don't know if you even want to call that a test. No hate to my A&M fans, and I love them, but they're just not what LSU's had to play so far. So Bama's great as always. They're terrific. I think they're very similar to LSU, honestly, with the receivers they have.
Yeah.
They have some good running game and a great quarterback. I think they have a similar offensive structure. The defenses have been playing pretty similar as well. So that'll be a fun game if we get to see that one coming up in the next couple of weeks. So
Love it.
But let's move on to the last real big game. I don't know how big of a game it was, but it was big in the Big Ten. Iowa, Penn State. The Hawkeyes came out with some awesome unis. I don't know what your thoughts were. Did you see the mustard yellow?
Didn't see him.
Dude, you got to take a look.
Was it an alternate?
A little alternate jersey. I don't know if it was a throwback, but my mom's side comes from the Iowa
love it.
Iowa area, so you gotta watch my Hawkeyes when I can.
Iowa Hawkeyes or tight end you.
Oh, we were talking about this. We're actually watching the Lions-Packers game right now. Tell me they're not tight end you. TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant, and George Kittle.
Let them block.
Come on.
Put them on the outside.
Come
Bunch
on.
of athletes. They're going to Iowa.
Kirk Ferentz.
Dude, you're a junior in high school. You're sitting there. You're playing tight end. You're going to Iowa.
Tell me this.
5-star?
I mean, no question, right? No question. But tell me this. What's worse than Big Ten offense outside of Ohio State and Wisconsin?
I don't watch Big Ten football. I didn't watch this game. Is there any threat out of Penn State, Iowa? Are those guys gonna maybe squeak into the playoff? Would Penn State any contention there?
I mean, obviously, if Penn State wins out, sure, but I don't see them competing with Wisconsin. I don't see them competing with Ohio State. I don't like Sean Clifford. I mean, he's a good young quarterback. I just don't think he competes. He's not on the level with Fields and Wisconsin's defense with the running attack and Taylor. No way can Penn State compete. So good game in the Big Ten. I think they're in that tier with Michigan. They're not up there with Wisconsin or Ohio State though.
Agreed. Let's take a dive in and switch gears a little bit. Looks like we're going to the NFL. Game that everybody's talking about. If you're from Dallas, if you're from Texas, you're feeling a certain type of way about the Cowboys. Cowboys, Jets, Darnold. What do you think about Darnold? Did people forget he played football?
I mean, this man had mono. Is mono a good thing to get? I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting after seeing Sam Darnold's performance. I mean, oh my goodness, this is incredible. The kid Darnold was playing the color of his hair, which is fire. Fire red. This kid was balling out.
Garret top.
90-yard bomb to Robbie Anderson. Cowboys fans everywhere were just in utter shock. Producer Sam, give us your take.
Well, let me tell you this. I almost had to hold him back via text message. I'm in the group text. Talking a couple podcast stuff.
Oh.
Producer Sam, ZB. It got a little hot.
It was heated.
It's not looking good for Dallas, and I think it's time for a coaching change. When you look at when they come off the sideline, there's just no emotion. Dak Prescott is a composed quarterback. He can get emotional, but that's typically in the fourth quarter when he's kind of sealing the deal. He can have some emotion there. Ezekiel Elliott is not a particularly emotional player. They don't have any receivers that are emotional. Cooper is not a Dez Bryant. Cooper is not a Terrell Owens. Cooper is not an Antonio Brown. And they just have a team of, for the most part, kind of collective, quiet players. Some of their players have off the field stuff, but they don't even have a coach that is particularly animated. But I just don't see enough emotion in the team, and you have to have some form of emotion, whether that's from your quarterback, whether that's from your coach, whether that's from a defensive player. And I just don't think that there's enough fire for that team to go deep enough in the playoffs. I don't think there's enough fire for them to win 10 games right now. At the pace they're going, 9-6 looks optimistic. I don't think that they're a sub 500 team, but it's not obvious that they're the best team in the division. They're tied for first, and the Eagles, although they lost last week, they had a decent game against the Vikings in Minnesota. I'm going to be going into next week, worried. And I think that a coaching change is needed. It's not obvious that that's what we're going to see, though, in Dallas.
Yeah, producer Sam, he nails it right on the head. What have we've had this conversation for a decade now with Jason Garret. It's like, is it 2 decades? Yeah, 2 decades, 3 decades. It feels like a lifetime, ZB. It feels like a lifetime, producer Sam. This guy is just mediocre at best. He's middle of the road. What do you want to call it? I'm not sure. He's got Jerry Jones, is he the puppeteer? Does he want him there just because he knows that he'll do what he says? All these things, but producer Sam alluded to it best. You're not going to get the juice unless you make a change. Change equals juice. Not all the time, but sometimes. In this case, yes. You move on from Jason Garret. What do you think, ZB?
A sad locker room is a locker room without juice, and that's what we've got right now. I've been saying this all year. Dak Prescott, complete average quarterback.
Yikes.
I compared him to Kirk Cousins, and is Kirk Cousins better? Is really the friend of the pod, Kirk Cousins, is he better than Dak Prescott? Because this man,
one guy is trending up.
I don't want to talk too much about Kirk. We'll dive in later, but I said it, and I'm backing it up.
Jason Garret makes $3 million.
Yikes.
My fee for clapping on the sidelines for 6 weeks, front row seats at a Dallas Cowboy game, I'll do it for $500,000.
We're starting the campaign. Producer Sam, the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
I got good cadence. I can do fast claps. I can do slow claps.
No. We want you to be more than that, Producer Sam. You're going to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to make the campaign. Start it now. Producer Sam for head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
I'll brush up on my resume.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Let's move on. One of the best games of the weekend. The Texans versus the Chiefs. Watson versus Mahomes, 2 young gunslingers going at it.
Oh, you got to love the quarterback play in this one. Just an absolute dream for somebody who loves that position. Deshaun Watson, best decision maker in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes, maybe the best arm talent in the NFL. You got them too. They're both duking it out. I might have said it on the pod last week. I took the Texans in this one. I was big on Deshaun, and I'm big on his decision-making. What did you see in this game?
Zach, first off, give me your John Gruden impression of Deshaun Watson's performance.
What's a John Gruden impression?
Oh, man. All right, I'm about to go in.
Okay.
I love this guy, man. I love this guy. The Army's got, he's a gunslinger, man. I mean... Knock on wood if you hear me. Come on.
Hey, that's a decent Gruden impression. I don't know if I have that in my repertoire. But
I got you.
I can't say enough about Deshaun Watson being he's not going to jump off the paper at you, biggest arm talent, biggest athlete, all these things, but he does a lot of things really, 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 really good. He's making really good decisions. He's checking down when he needs to. He's running the football when he needs to. He's not scampering out of the pocket. You don't see him dancing back there like Baker does when he freaks out and you have to ad lib. He's making the throws. He's not force feeding anybody. He's got great talent on the outside, and Fuller and Hopkins and these guys, and he's just doing just enough to win these football games. And I think he's trending up. My boy Mahomes trending down a little bit. Struggled a little bit in this game. You think with Tyreek Hill back and you give Mahomes these weapons back that they're going to look a little different, but the Houston Texans were able to squeak it out. Who's feeling the juice more? The freaking Houston, the city of Houston.
Oh,
my God.
on fire. I mean, Russell Westbrook's in town. They're excited.
Don't forget about that guy.
Come on. But yeah, no, I gotta echo everything you just said. Also, I don't love Bill O'Brien as a coach. Don't love everything he's done, but I gotta give him props. Yeah. He's also done a magnificent job of play calling. The running backs, the running game with Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson has looked great.
Yeah.
I mean, over 120 yards on the ground last week. You gotta love it. Going in, sticking to the run, sticking to what you do best. Going to your top targets. I have to say, I'm giving a thumbs up to Bill O'Brien after yesterday.
Yeah.
Great game.
Pundits like us, they don't love him. They don't love Bill O'Brien. For some reason, they think he's a control freak. They think he's trying to run the whole damn thing his own way. But I don't know. It pays off when you win your way. And Bill O'Brien, he's winning his way.
He wins Bill's way.
Yeah, he wants to be the GM. He wants to be the freaking owner. But
give me the whole freaking team. I got you.
They're winning football games. They're winning football games in Houston. You love to see it. Deshaun Watson trending up. Let's move into the next one. Seahawks, Browns, Russell Wilson. He's little. He's got curly hair. He can play the game of football. What do you think about this guy?
Oh, I mean, I've been a humongous Russell Wilson fan for a long time. Russell Wilson is, character as high as it gets. Leader. Also, something I love about him, Zach, and you'll relate to this, gritty. Grit is in Russell Wilson's middle name, man. This guy has it all. I love the touch on the ball. I love the ability to just hit any receiver on stride. I mean, 2 touchdowns for Jerron Brown. I'm a Cardinals fan. No, Jerron Brown. The Arizona Cardinals released Jerron Brown after last year. The Arizona Cardinals. Is Jerron Brown good? I don't know. Is Russell Wilson? He sure as hell is. Russell Wilson is very talented. He's a good player. I think if you're ending today and looking at the MVP, he's in Seattle. He's in North Washington. I don't think that Seattle's in North Washington.
It is.
Okay, good. Just making sure. My geography is a little off.
We're in that northwest
We like to
corner.
be accurate, We like to be accurate on look who's talking. But and North Washington, he's out there with Sierra and kids, and he's the MVP. He's
Love
the
and
most
life.
valuable player.
Every time you see him, he's got a smile on his face. He's got his faith so deep rooted in the Lord. All he does is talk just pure. The guy's pure. He's pure. He's holy. He's a great quarterback. He might win the MVP. The other side of this tale is the Browns trending down. They're not. This was almost essentially a bounce back win for these guys. They're supposed to come in here and play really, really well, and Baker continues to throw it to the other team. I'm not sure, what he's been doing. Producer Sam alluded to it earlier. We've talked about the commercials. Every time I freaking turn on the TV, it's Baker Mayfield and his wife doing the lawn mowing commercial for Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. I don't know. But there's a real problem going on in Cleveland. And dare I say, we talked about it in the little pregame segment just between the three of us, but there's another quarterback on the roster.
His name's Garret Gilbert, like Travis grad, right out of West Austin. Could it be? Could it be time for the successor, Garret Gilbert? I don't know. I don't want to say it. But I also just want to talk about another commercial. The Baker Mayfield commercial where he's picking up trash in his stadium. Could there be a more ironic commercial in the game right now?
You are trash, Baker.
You're trash picking up yourself.
Oh, yikes.
My goodness.
You have to live with that, too. Yeah,
we want you on the pod, Baker. Come on.
And the thing is, you hate to see this. You really do hate to see this. He's in the post-game presser, a real chance for you just to own it. Own your mistakes. You threw it to the other team, Baker, but you're going to blame the officials, the freaking Zebras? Like they did this to you? Like they threw it to the other football team? I don't know, but you got an MVP candidate on one side. You got another guy that's maybe fighting for his job. Maybe that's a stretch. Maybe that's a hot take. You heard it here on Look Who's Talking. But let's take a little breather here. We'll come back. We'll talk a little Look Who's Talking. We'll talk a little who's feeling the
Maybe
juice.
Teddy Two Gloves will come up. I don't know.
We'll see you guys in a little bit. And we are back. Look Who's Talking. Another great segment that we did in episode 2. We're going to go back to it. Episode 3. ZB, tell me what it is.
Zach, a man is not a man unless he admits flaws. And in my list, the Magnificent Seven of last week,
Self-reflection.
I heard some feedback from the fans, some backlash after the Magnificent Seven came out. There's some adjustments to the rankings, folks. And first off, apologies to Joe Burrow and his family. He is a terrific young quarterback that's going to be rising in the rankings today. So here we go. We're diving into the Magnificent Seven. We got number 7, Sam Ellinger.
Oh, yes.
How do you feel?
Makes an appearance. I've been waiting on this. One. This guy's a good football player. Tell me why you got him there.
Oh, why don't I? I mean, the kid's Tim Tebow-like, what you gotta love. He's got a better arm than Tim Tebow. I said it. He's also a natural-born leader. I love that about him. He goes out there, takes 9 sacks, 2 broken ribs. The kid's still smile on his face, competing out there. He's got a great arm, good deep ball. And I like the physicality of him as just a player. I don't know about how he's going to be at the next level. I think he's got the potential. His arm's great. He's good size. But I think he's definitely worthy of a top 7 spot.
Agreed. Some of those natural instincts are there, but you alluded to the best. It's the body style. It's the rumble. It's the tumble. It's the willing to lower your shoulder against a linebacker, get to the next level, and make the throws that are necessary. Nice.
Sammy
nice
Sam,
nice
number
to see
7.
Sammy in the top 7.
Have the local kid here. You got to do it. Number 6, Justin Herbert. Told you a little bit about him. He's great. Had to drop him one spot, but overall solid talent. Number 5, we're going to Jalen Hurts. Dropped him a spot. I know he played well against Texas, but I tend to agree with Zach. I think we saw that he's good. He's good, not great. Number 4, Justin Fields, bye week. Fields is, not much to say there. Talented player. I like him a lot. A mini Cam. Number 3, Joe Burrow. There he is.
Makes an appearance in the top 3.
Makes an appearance from 7 to 3. He is definitely feeling the juice. The kid came out to play. I love. He's just the most interesting man in the world, quite frankly. Did you hear some of those pregame interviews? Did you at all get a taste of that? I know you were watching the UTOU game, but
didn't see much of it. He seems from afar. He seems kind of like an odd duck.
He is an odd duck indeed. The man's favorite cartoon, a huge cartoon guy. Favorite cartoon? Can you guess it?
Mickey Mouse.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, see, I can't relate to that
Let
much at all.
me tell you why. He's always grinding, he says. He's always grinding.
What?
He's always at the Krabby Patty, putting patties to work, serving people, always.
Wow.
That's why he loves SpongeBob SquarePants. Low-key admire that in him.
Hell of a comparison.
Do I like it?
Is eating hamburgers considered grinding?
Is comparing yourself to SpongeBob in any capacity?
Tom and Jerry, that mouse is grinding. Let me tell you.
Tell me how SpongeBob SquarePants isn't a natural-born leader.
I'm not sure. At this point, I'm not sure about SpongeBob's leadership skills.
Regardless,
I just don't know. But
Regardless.
that's an interesting take there, Z.
That segment, that right there just proves what Joe Burrow is. A fantastic quarterback with an interesting personality. But he's 3. 2, I'm sticking with Trevor Lawrence. I love Lawrence. Like you all know, 4 touchdowns last week. I know he only threw for $170, but kid's the best quarterback overall in the country, in my opinion, talent-wise. Number 1, Tua Tagovailoa. Had to say the name.
Say it again.
Tagovailoa. I think I said it wrong that time. I don't know.
You slipped
but
up.
the kid's just a stud. Threw his first pick this past week.
Really?
Thought about dropping him a spot. No, I'm joking. The kid is insane. Crazy talented. 3 first-round weapons with him. Yeah.
What is
But
that?
there you go.
The teal and green?
Who dropped? Wait, who dropped from the top 7?
Who was it? I don't know.
Jake Fromm.
Oh, Fromm, game manager.
The game manager, indeed.
Yikes. Will
It was
Muschamp
confirmed.
from the grave.
Yeah.
This guy went in, played South Carolina, wasn't sure what he was getting into, didn't realize he was just a game manager. Now he's out of the top 7. He's on the outside looking in.
From a real Jake Fromm homer, this one hurts, but I had to do it. The kid loses to South Carolina at home. First time in 2 years they've lost a home game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can't lose to Muschamp. Unreal.
Just can't do it. Moving into maybe one of the best segments out there on the podcast waves. Dare I say it? Who is feeling the juice? Let's get right into it, ZB. It looks like my guy. You alluded to it earlier in the pod with one of the best quotes of all time.
Oh.
If it's not up on some stadium by tomorrow, I'm going to freak out. I'm going to lose my mind. It's Ed O.
It's simply that, Ed O. This man is a legend. We mentioned the quote already, but if this isn't going, if the players walking into the stadium are not seeing this quote, the AD's fired. That quote needs to be everywhere in the stadium because that thing gets me amped, and I'm not even an LSU fan. Let's freaking go. Orgeron's feeling the juice. He freaking is just, I don't know what it is about him, but the man can motivate young men. A leader of young men is Ed Orgeron. Simple as that.
Edo coaches with a chip on his shoulder. If he put on the pads, he'd play with a chip on his shoulder.
I'm convinced the man could go out there and play left tackle right now. That's how amazing Edo is.
The guy's been passed up. Power 5 job after Power 5 job. LSU, they wanted Tom Herman. They didn't get him. USC, they didn't want Edo. You know, he ends up at a little school, LSU, and he's coaching them up, and it looks like LSU can win the Natty, and you haven't felt like that in the past.
If Ed O wins the Natty this year, does he get a lifetime contract from LSU?
I don't know. Dude, just give his grandkids a lifetime contract.
Unreal. I mean, the dude is just incredible. You gotta love him.
Moving to the other side of things, who has no juice? Who has zero juice? Who is feeling bad today on a Monday night? It's the Texas defense, the walking wounded. What did you see out there, Texas OU?
You know, while I was trying out my custom suit, I was feeling the juice, and I was like, I'm going to check out this UTOU game. It's on. People are watching it. My wife doesn't care, but I'm watching it. I'm over there watching the game, and all of a sudden I see Jalen Hurts throw one to CeeDee Lamb, and you're like, oh, they're about to wrap him up. Just a 15-yard gang. 5, count them 5, UT defenders surrounding CeeDee Lamb, and he gets around all of them for the touchdown. It was embarrassing to UT fans. It was embarrassing to my friend Zach Overby. It was embarrassing to the folks in Men's Warehouse on a Saturday afternoon.
Yikes. Yeah, the Texas defense, walking wounded. You need to get a few guys right. I don't think we're going to get them. You're going to redshirt a lot of guys. You got some broken arms, some broken legs, everything in between. Defense can't get a pass rush. They're young. We'll see here. A lot of football left to be played, but you alluded to it best. The open field tackling, kind of Herman alluded to it in his presser today.
Yeah.
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. We didn't practice tackling in practice all week because everybody's banged up, and then you go out there and guess what? You can't tackle anybody. So we're moving on to back on the other side of the spectrum. Maybe one of the best running backs to ever come through the NFL, the National Football League. He's good. He's great. Christian McCaffrey.
And he's smart, too. The Stanford grad, Christian McCaffrey. You got to love him. The kid is born for football. Oh, my goodness.
Great football player.
Guy is great. Just a great football player. Just give him the rock. What's impressive to me is the amount of work that this kid is getting. The workload is there, and no injuries.
Gotta be
nothing.
careful.
Got to be careful with the young guy, the young buck.
Yeah.
You love Christian McCaffrey, C-Mac, I like to call him. The kid can catch it out of the backfield. He can run he can run the freaking inside zone. He can do whatever you need him to do.
Producer Sam, would you take C-Mac attack or Zeke Elliott? on your beloved Cowboys football team?
Yeah, good question. I think that
Is it?
the career accolades are in Christian McCaffrey's favor, but I think that's also just a function of the fact that Cam Newton any day, any year can be a below average quarterback, and that offense is built, I think, right now around Christian McCaffrey. It's not obvious that he's the better runner. Ezekiel Elliott has a little bit more of a power back kind of mentality. Chris McCaffrey is obviously faster, and they use him more in the backfield with catching, whereas Ezekiel Elliott really doesn't do that much in the backfield like Chris McCaffrey does. I would probably go with Christian McCaffrey, but I certainly wouldn't want to trade for him right
I
now.
love the unbiased opinion
Just
from
gonna be honest.
producer Sam right there. Yeah, you went the right way. C-Mac's better. And let me tell you why. You alluded to it, Cam Newton, not that good, so it's built around Christian McCaffrey. But let me one-up you here. He is not that good. So they stacked the box. They put 8 in the box, and McCaffrey still ends up averaging 6 yards a carry so far this year. Still is getting about 600 yards within the first 6 weeks of football. I mean, the kid goes over to London, gets a couple scores still. I mean, are you surprised that the travel?
Not affected.
Not affected at all.
Not affected by any of it.
But let me tell you who it did affect.
Uh-oh.
Juice down, big time, not feeling it. Jameis, no juice, Winston.
Gosh, you said it. You said it best. Jameis, no juice, Winston. Jameis, I throw it to the other team, Winston. Jameis, I'm in a contract year, and I'm
not
just,
1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 picks.
Yikes. Big time forgettable game for my guy, Jameis. You're feeling just bad for the guy. I mean, after you throw it to the other team 3 times, you're thinking, who is left on the bench? Who's QB2 at this
Do
point?
we know QB2? I think they had Testaverde's son in the preseason. Let's throw him out there.
Jesus, let's get just put him out there. Let somebody else rip it down the field. You're asking this guy to throw it 40 times, and he throws it to the other team about half the time. So.
Wait. The offensive coordinator is Byron Leftwich. Can he take off the mic and get out in the game? Let's go.
Used to love Byron. Is he a lefty?
I think he's a right-hander.
Well,
The Leftwich is a right-hander?
I
That'll
saw-
really get the defense.
I saw him in a Steelers jersey. I saw him at the Jaguars.
Yep,
Byron.
yep.
Yeah. Well, Jameis.
talented.
Just tough game for Jameis. We'll see if he's out of the league in 2 years. I don't know. What do you think? What's his future? What's his future?
You know,
ZB?
I'm going to give credit to the Bill Simmons podcast, one of my favorites. Bill, if you're out here, I'd love to join the pod one of these days. He brought up a proposal. Bill, who does it? Who makes the call first? Jameis Winston for Marcus Mariota, the first and second pick in the respective draft. Who
Wait,
does it?
Run that by me again. What?
Jameis Winston for Marcus Mariota. Who makes the trade? Who makes the call? You know what my thought is? I'd take Jameis over Marcus.
I would too.
Both.
He's just better. Marcus Mariota is not good.
Yeah, they're
He's very bad.
Jameis Winston wasn't having a bad year.
both-
One game can change a narrative, Sam.
They're both so bad.
Yeah, they're just both bad. I give him. Jameis. It's so hard to come across a good quarterback in the NFL nowadays. This guy's going to be a quarterback in the NFL for the next 10 years.
Well, Jameis certainly has a bigger
He might be a
ceiling.
backup.
I mean, Marcus Mariota does not have the potential that Jameis does. Marcus Mariota is, we've seen, as good as he can get.
Yeah.
And it's average. His ceiling is average. Jameis Winston at any time, almost similar to Cam Newton, right? The ceiling is there. The potential is clearly there, and he has the ability to win games on his shoulders. And then you have games like you have, this week, and it's like, how is this guy even like on the depth chart? How is he starting? But yeah, I don't think you can compare him to. I don't think you can go the Mariota comparison right now. Bad week. We'll see. We'll see what he does next week.
Wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah, listeners, if you could see my face, I'm frowning at the sight of both these guys. I mean, my God, disgusted. Let's move back to the other side of the spectrum. Who's Lucy? Who's Goosey? Who's feeling juicy? It's the Miami Dolphins. Why? Why do you ask, listeners? Tell them why, ZB.
We're throwing a curveball at you, folks. Let me tell you why. The race for the number 1 pick in the 2020 draft, the team who is outwardly tanking, the Miami Dolphins, just lost the Poop Bowl.
They got a big loss.
A big loss. Shout out to Brian Flores in the city of Miami. Let's go. Tua Tagovailoa is in your hands.
Dialing up another loss. They're doing it on purpose. It's the Miami Dolphins feeling the juice from a loss. You're not really going to see that on Look Who's Talking that often, but
A positive plus a negative, I thought made a negative, but it's all changed, people.
at this point, I don't know anything. I'm just not sure of anything at this point. It's gone a little wild.
The NFL's a wacky place, Zach.
Miami's feeling the juice. I just looked down at my phone, and sources are telling me we're going back to the other side of the spectrum. These are someone who's not feeling the juice. I didn't even know his name before this week. He got into it with none other than friend of the pod, Kirk Cousins. His name is Zach
Brown. And not the Zach Brown band. Zach Brown, the linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles.
What did he get caught for, ZB? What is it?
This man.
Give us some context.
Once
to
a
the listeners.
Minnesota Viking comes over,
Philadelphia Eagle.
points out to the reporters. Says, "Hey, come here. I got something to tell you.
I've got a headliner
Aaron
for you.
Andrews, come on over here." You know what he says? He says, "This guy Kirk Cousins, we're gonna let him throw the ball. You know why? Cause he sucks. He sucks." That's pretty much what he says. I don't have the exact quote, but he basically says,
We know
"Let
who you
Cousins
are."
sling it, and we will win the game." Zach, why would you do this?
Literally, I don't know. I just looked at my phone. This man just got cut from the roster.
If there's one thing in my first year of marriage that I've realized, it's you never test a married man, because guess what? He wants to prove you wrong for the wife.
Captain Kirk Cousins. Great game by Kirk. He tore up that team.
Three touchdowns, 350 yards, through some, just incredible plays. It's Diggs. Thielen was happy. Diggs is happy. There's all smiles in Minnesota. You know how I said I don't mind taking a complete 180 in Minnesota.
I don't mind it.
Are you ready to officially take the 180?
I'm telling you this. He's reaping the benefits. Stephon Diggs, he's happy. Thielen, he's happy. The OC, he's happy. Zimmerman, happy. He's also putting people in body bags. Zach Brown does not have a job anymore because Kirk Cousins went out there and went torched earth. We're watching it on the ticker
We're watching
right
it
now.
live on Scott Van Pelt. Eagles released linebacker Zach Brown. Brown made comments about Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins last week. We're all in astonishment. Cousins, like I said, puts people in body bags. The man is homeless.
Yikes. Doug Peterson, he's not looking for any comments. He's not looking for any headlines. Just leave the team, Zach. Leave the team. That's 3 Zachs. 2 Zachs are trending up. 1 Zach's trending down. We already talked about, someone who's not feeling the juice. We got to stay with not feeling the juice because that was breaking news. First time we've ever done it on Look Who's Talking. Stick around. You might learn something. Who also isn't feeling the juice? Atlanta kicker. What's his name?
Matt Bryant.
Matt Bryant. Tell me about this guy.
Wow. A friend of the pod to me for sure after Sunday. Let me tell you. Cardinals up 34-27. Atlanta shredding the Cardinals defense in the second half. Matt Ryan, just put up quite a second half. Resilient effort. But what happens is that 34-33, a minute and 40 left. Oh, we tied it up. A touchdown to Devontae Freeman. Matt Bryant comes in to kick the extra point and misses it wide left. Cardinals fans going crazy everywhere, but man, you got to feel for a guy like Matt Bryant. Is there a place that is more alone than missing an extra point?
I've been alone a couple times, EB. I'm not even going to go there on this pod because it's a happy pod. We have friends on the pod.
Spot.
But I can't think of, Matt Bryant. You go back to the bench. Who do you talk to? You go back home. Hopefully your family loves you after that one. Because
Hopefully.
Yikes. But I don't know. Kickers, they're not football players. What are they? They're part of this game that's so physical, so brutal, and then you come in and you just shank one to.
What's a more difficult job than a kicker? Let me tell you why.
High pressure.
You make a kick, you did your job. You miss a kick, fire the man.
Yikes. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. I feel bad for Bryant. He'll probably be axed by the end of next week.
Look out for breaking news, maybe, honestly, in this podcast again, because it's possible Matt Bryant's gone. I'll have Adam Schifter on speed dial.
Let's go. To wrap this thing up, thanks for sticking around for episode 3 of the pod. We've got Philly-Dallas. Let's take a look into next week. Big rivalry game. I'm going to turn to producer Sam for the pick here. Producer Sam, what do you got? It's Dallas the favorite by 2.5 points. Who do you like?
2.5 points, not really seeing where that's coming from. I mean, at that point, you're basically just talking about one possession. I am not convinced the Cowboys are going to be able to beat the Eagles. I think the Eagles are somewhat trending up, and I think the Cowboys are definitely trending down. It'll be dependent on what the offensive play call is and how well Ezekiel Elliott's able to carry the team. He got a little bit more of the workload. He rushed for about 110 yards last week. Dak Prescott had an average game, didn't really put too much on his shoulders. It really came down to the defense just not being able to stop the Jets offense, which looked like, something that Kansas City would normally put out last week. And it didn't look good. I'm wanting the Cowboys to step up, and our offense needs to perform better. The Eagles look like they're the better team right now. It'll be interesting to see if we're able to put pressure on Carson Wentz and hopefully get some turnovers. But I don't think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think that the Eagles are going to go up big, and then we're going to have another scenario where we have to hope for another second-half miracle. We're going to probably get back into it. I think we'll lose by a possession. So not looking forward, as always, to my Sundays as of late, but
Producer Sam alluded to it best. I'm looking for some emotion from the Cowboys, just a little want to, a little must-win situation, I think, in their eyes. But I'm just looking.
Show
for
me
some,
care.
Yeah, just looking for some care. What do you think, ZB?
Eagles 2.5. I'm going with Dougie P and Carson W.
Yeah. I might go Eagles here too. I might even take the points plus 2.5. Take Philly. I think they win by a tutter, maybe 2 tutters. Who knows? Let's move on to the next game. Baltimore-Seattle. Who you got?
You got Lamar Jackson. You got Russell Wilson. 2 exciting young quarterback. I guess Russell Wilson's not young anymore. Where has time gone?
He's got kids, man. He's not young.
Yeah, you're right. All
Not his
right, we
kids.
got a young quarterback versus a veteran, the rookie and the vet. Who takes this one, Zach? I've got Seattle. Simple as that. I know we're looking at 3.5 here. I've got Seattle minus 3.5 at home, especially. I think the crowd's going to be crazy. What they used to call the Legion of Boom will be in full effect. I like how Seattle's defense has been playing lately, kind of like a bend not break type of team.
Yeah.
And the offense with Russell Wilson under center, anything is possible. I just don't think that Lamar Jackson. I think some teams have started to figure him out a little bit. Which is making things a little difficult for him.
Yeah. You said it best at the end of your analysis there. Great analysis. The young kid Jackson, he's not quite ready to win these games yet. You got to go to Seattle, hostile environment. Russell Wilson's going to take care of things. Maybe look out for a dark horse, Jadeveon Clowney with a couple of sacks. I don't know. I could see a coming out party.
It's a possibility.
But yeah, I'd take Seattle. Maybe, they're the favorite, 3.5, as we alluded to. Maybe go ahead and take the favorite in this game.
There you go.
Next game, very close to home for my friend of the pod, ZB. It's his Sun Devils, who are really playing good football right now. They're taking on a really tough Utah team.
What makes this game so interesting is Jaden Daniels, the true freshman quarterback at Arizona State. Kid's having a terrific true freshman year. Only thrown 1 interception. He has about, I think, 10 touchdowns. He's ran for 2. Looks great with a big win against Washington State and Mike Leach. What's interesting though, the nice little wrinkle we got in this game is the recruiting battle for Daniels came down to Arizona State and Utah. So now Daniels, nothing better than a recruiting battle out west, Zach. Let me tell you, Daniels goes out to Salt Lake. We'll see if he can show out, but Utah looks strong. They just knock the pants off of Oregon State, which a lot of people do. But it'll be an interesting game. Honestly, in Utah with the true freshman quarterback, I'm going to have to go with the Utah Utes. I think it'll be close, but I think Utah comes away at the end of the game.
So you're taking ASU. They've got plus 14. You're taking ASU in the points?
I'll take ASU plus 14, but I got Utah by 10.
Yeah. Utah. I got Utah. True freshman quarterback. Sometimes you're going to lose these. Not much more to be said there.
Yeah.
Or kind of an intriguing matchup and kind of a mundane college football weekend. But you got the Oregon Ducks taking on the Washington Huskies. Who do you got in this one? It looks like Oregon's favored by 3.
Zach, I know you love Pac-12 football. I know this is just such a fun segment for you. Oh, man. But, no, what I think I put this one on because here's what's interesting, Zach. Let me throw you a question. If Oregon wins out, I'm going to make the case. 11-1. Lone loss is to Auburn off of a last-second touchdown throw by the true freshman from Auburn. Is Oregon a playoff
Yeah,
contender? Are they a
yeah.
playoff dark horse?
You
I don't know.
You know, I look at everything through a Texas lens. I've got my Texas shades on, and I'm hoping for another loss for Oregon, or else it's gonna be tough.
11-1.
I know,
11-1 for the Ducks, and their loss is to Auburn neutral field
Hard
by
case.
4 points.
Tough case not to let them in, Cotton. Really tough case, but they'll slip up. They'll slip up one of these, and I think it might be this week. I like Jacob Eason. Really good quarterback. You might have seen him in a Georgia jersey a while back. Snapped his leg. He's back. He's playing really good. Sorry. He's playing.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy. But he's, like I said, he's back. He's playing
He
good
is.
football. So I'll take Washington here. A
Okay.
little upset. I think. I think Eason does just enough to get it done.
I got Oregon with the points. And then let's move on. This will be the game of the week. Big Ten football, Michigan, Penn State. Not an exciting game, probably a battle of third place here. We're looking at Penn State. The Nittany Lions come off a big win against Iowa at Iowa. Michigan with a win against the Fighting Illini, but a weird win. So I don't know. It'll be an interesting game. Personally, you got Penn State with 9. They got 9 points to it. I'm going to have to go Penn State -9. I think they win by 10. I like the Nittany Lions in this game.
Yeah, we are.
Penn
State. I think Penn State. Is it at Penn State?
Penn State.
At Penn State. Yeah, they bring the juice. That crowd brings the juice. I don't care what they've done in the past. They covered some stuff up. We won't go into it, but
Sneaky big game for Harbaugh.
yeah. Again, look who's talking. We've talked about it in the past, but this guy, any situation that he goes into is almost a must-win, and I think they're in trouble. Penn State -9. I would agree with ZB here, my friend, my co-talker, producer, co-host.
Co-host?
Co-host.
Co-host.
Yeah,
There you
co-host.
go.
That's what I
Yeah,
was
we're
looking
new
for.
to this.
Co-host. Welcome to the show, Z. God dang it, man. Anyways, yeah, I'll take Penn State -10 as well. But that kind of leads it to it. We're watching the Monday Night Football game here. We came at you on a Monday. We diced it up. ZB lost my house key. We're here. Producer Sam gave us some hot takes. He might be the Cowboys' next head coach. I don't know.
We'll see what happens, but we're here to make it happen.
Love you guys. Continue to listen. Continue
you
to
guys,
subscribe. 5-star reviews only.
And just remember, you all have the juice. Just channel it somewhere. Listen in on Wednesday mornings. Follow us on Instagram. Look who's talking.